Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. Today I am going to be making some Halloween wreaths, so come on, let's do this. I found this really cool frame from the Dollar Tree that is in the shape of a witch hat. It's a little bit of an odd shape and I was torn with how I was going to go about filling this up. I have some leftover scraps from last year's Garland that I made, and I'm still going to stick with my color scheme, the blue, black, and bronze. So I'm going to be picking out some of those colors, and the leftover scraps from the cape and the hat are also going to come into play. I'm going to start using the method of tying knots the same way I did the Garland, and if you want to check out the Garland, I will put a link in the description. And while I'm mentioning that, if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. Thank you ahead of time. If you are an old fan, thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm going to do two wreaths today. I'm going to take on this witch one, and I think this is going to become my main centerpiece over behind me, and I'm going to do a regular standard wreath using cardboard as your base structure. If you do not want to go out and find a wreath form, or maybe you want to make a custom shape, then you can do it this way. The benefit for this is it will also be lightweight. It is an easy, ready material that you probably can just recycle for some old boxes, and you'll have a little bit of versatility if you want to go ahead and make it into a funky shape. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail on how to work with cardboard. I do have a video where I have tips and tricks. I made a giant Haunted Mansion cat house. If you want to check that out, I will also post a link to that in the description. But I'm just going to do a basic roll and cut of this cardboard to form my understructure, and then we're going to get decorating. So the first thing I did was find two things round, trace them out. In the case of this wreath, because I am only eyeballing, I mean, I could use a compass, but I'm not going to because it's me and I like to wing things. I'm going to cut out one perfect one, or somewhat perfect. It's probably going to end up wonky. Use this one to figure out where my center lies so that I end up with at least two that are identical. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a strip of cardboard. And as I'm cutting this strip of cardboard, I want to make sure that I'm cutting with the shortest end of, I guess it's grain. Cardboard lines are running this way, right? And so when I cut my strip, I want my strip to be running this way because I'm going to be using the cardboard grain here as a guide. So I'll be cutting slices through here, and it's going to make it really easy for me to bend. So you can see that my corrugation is running this way, and so my grain is running in this direction, and that's what I want for my strips. Since this is not such a drastic curve, I'm going to just make tick marks every 2 inches and then scoring. And what scoring means is that I'm only going to be cutting through the top layer of this cardboard and not cutting all the way through. 2 inches is not quite enough. I probably need 1.5 inches because I'm getting a bit of a gap as I do that. So I'm going to just go in and just add another line in between at 1 inch and see if that gets me there. I'm just going to play with this bit of scoring, and once I get something that is matching up without giving me a gap, then I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this whole thing together. Just adding a bit of extra strength by pumping a nice thick bead. I just put a thin amount to get it in place. It's all going to be on the inside. This will hopefully give me a good hold. So the piece that I put on last, I marked with an F and calling it the front. I wasn't able to get as much hot glue underneath it. This is going to be the most vulnerable point. The back side I know is good and strong, and since I'll be hanging it from that, I wanted to make sure that I marked which was the front and which was the back. I have some fabric that I found in the remnant bin, and this is some kind of denim. It's a nice thick fabric. As I was testing it out and doing this maneuver, I liked the crinkling thing that I have going on here. I'm going to go hit this cardboard with some Super 77 over there away from my work surface because this stuff gets all over just about everything. And then I will come back here and affix this fabric all around the top piece, give it a minute to settle, and then trim it and go ahead and stick on a back. I'm gonna let this fully dry, making a big old mess, because that's what we do here. one is drying, I'm gonna start prepping pieces for the witchy hat. The garland I cut 1.5 by 7 strips, and I want to just use up my scraps that I had left over from the hat and the cape. Cut up as many scraps as I can, and then I'm gonna start tying them onto the hat. The other day I hit about 95, which really means it was like 105 in this garage. It was just unbearable. I had to stop what I was doing. It's been a really long, rough August for me. The last thing I needed was to be out here working in the heat. Anyway, so this morning I was thinking I needed to run to Joann's for the second wreath, and then I realized I was just procrastinating more and I should just use what I have. I have some leftover stuff, leaves that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna go to town using what I already have, finish off the round wreath with things that you might be able to find at the 99 or your Dollar Tree. And then I'm gonna continue finishing up this witch hat. These are pretty much the same strips I was using for my garland. I'm just applying them to this wire frame, and I don't see why this couldn't be done in the round. I've seen those round wire frames that you could totally do something similar to this. I am gonna drink my bowl of coffee, cut up some more strips, finish up this witch wreath, and then move on to the cardboard wreath. I'm not gonna go too crazy here. I have a couple cats, a bat, a piece of this foliage, burlap ribbon that I found at Costco. Look at this giant roll for $6. That's actually one of the cheapest deals. It was in with the Christmas stuff, and I bought it in July. So they had Christmas stuff at Costco in July. Go figure. I don't want to put too much going on here. We're gonna stick a bat up here, a couple cats in the middle, a strip of this here to look more like a hat brim. Top it off with that and call it a day. This hot glue gun was one of the more expensive hot glue guns, and it's a piece of crap. The one I got at the 99-cent store was much better than this, and I used it so much that it had died on me, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna replace it with a good quality one. Bought it at the craft store, and yeah, it like does not get hot enough to heat the glue sticks of its own brand. I really want one of those cordless ones. I need to stop using the fabric scissors to cut things that are not fabric. That is how I ended up having to purchase new fabric scissors. Alrighty. I'm gonna get this one hung up. So I think this looks really great back here. I think that one's gonna be the one that sticks around for the rest of the season. This one here, inside decor, inside my house. We've left this with that tacky glue drying. It's been a couple days because my life is busy and it took me that long to get back out here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and trim this off. Okay, we'll start off with the leaves. This wreath is a Dollar Tree wreath because this is all stuff I had found at the Dollar Tree. The only thing under here that did not come from the Dollar Tree is the cardboard. And this bit of fabric I did get at Joann's, but they do sell fabric at the Dollar Tree. You could just use some old fabric that you have laying around too. I think I want more of a serious vibe. Martha S. There is wire in these, so your best bet would probably be to use some wire cutters. And then I'm covered in glitter. Come on, this awful glue gun. Well, gotta be honest, I think a little less is more in this case, and I don't want to overdo it. Plus, this janky hot glue gun is not making life that easier at the moment, so no unnecessary risk of crap falling off, right? And I have plenty of extra stuff to probably make 5 more wreaths because I bought more than I needed. I am gonna leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and stick around to watch the rest of my environment come together. Looks like a funeral wreath.